Most people think they are bringing a French Bulldog into their home. What they do not realize is that the French Bulldog is about to become one of the most important parts of that home. It rarely happens all at once. Instead, it unfolds so gradually that owners barely notice it happening. One day the dog is simply part of the household. A few months later, the household somehow seems to revolve around the dog. French Bulldog owners talk about this experience all the time. It is one of the most recognizable parts of living with the breed. The first thing many owners notice is how quickly the Frenchie becomes part of every routine. Ordinary daily activities suddenly feel incomplete without them. Morning routines begin changing almost immediately. Before long, the dog feels like a permanent part of the start of every day. The same thing often happens in the evening. The French Bulldog naturally becomes woven into familiar habits and routines. At first, owners do not think much about it. Eventually, they realize nearly every part of the day includes the dog in some way. This is one reason French Bulldogs become the center of everything. They quietly become part of the rhythm of the household. Many owners say their Frenchie always seems to be nearby. The dog develops a talent for appearing wherever family life is happening. What starts as simple companionship becomes something larger. The dog gradually becomes part of the experience itself. Over time, owners stop asking where the French Bulldog is. They begin assuming the dog is already there. That assumption says a lot about the breed. French Bulldogs have a way of making themselves feel essential. Another thing owners notice is how often visitors end up talking about the Frenchie. Guests may arrive to see people but leave remembering the dog. French Bulldogs have a way of attracting attention. Their personalities often leave a stronger impression than people expect. Many owners have experienced this firsthand. Conversations frequently shift toward the dog without anyone planning it. Before long, visitors are asking questions. They want stories, photos, and updates about the French Bulldog. This becomes another reason the dog moves toward the center of family life. The attention rarely stays limited to the household itself. Friends become familiar with the dog. Relatives become familiar with the dog. Neighbors become familiar with the dog. The French Bulldog often becomes a recognizable part of everyday social life. Many owners eventually notice something else. The dog somehow becomes the most photographed member of the family. Photos that were supposed to capture moments often end up including the Frenchie, sometimes intentionally and sometimes not. The camera seems to find the dog repeatedly. Owners often laugh when they realize how many pictures include their French Bulldog. At first, it feels accidental. Eventually, it starts feeling completely normal. Months later, entire collections of photos seem centered around the dog. The French Bulldog quietly takes over the family photo album. The same thing often happens with conversations. Owners begin talking about the dog far more than they expected. Stories that seem ordinary to the owner become entertaining to everyone else. The French Bulldog somehow keeps producing memorable moments. This creates another recognition point. The dog becomes one of the most frequent topics in the household. Family members reference the dog. Friends reference the dog. Visitors ask about the dog. Conversations repeatedly circle back to the same small companion. Many French Bulldog owners notice something surprising after a while. They begin making small decisions with the dog in mind. The changes are rarely dramatic. They are usually small and practical. Yet those small decisions add up over time. The dog gradually becomes part of everyday planning. Owners often do not realize how much this has happened until they stop and think about it. By then, the French Bulldog is firmly established as a central part of family life. Another common experience involves attention itself. French Bulldogs seem remarkably good at becoming the focus of a room. This does not necessarily happen because they are demanding. It often happens because people enjoy having them around. The breed has a natural ability to attract affection. Owners frequently notice this with friends and family members. People who claim not to be dog people often end up interacting with the Frenchie. The dog seems capable of winning people over very quickly. That ability creates memorable experiences. The French Bulldog often becomes the bridge between people. Many owners notice that gatherings feel different when the dog is present. The atmosphere often feels more relaxed and enjoyable. This is one reason the breed develops such a devoted following. The dog contributes something unique to everyday life. Over time, another realization begins to appear. The household notices when the French Bulldog is not there. This can be surprisingly revealing. People often do not recognize the dog's influence until it is temporarily absent. The house feels different. The routine feels different. The energy feels different. Something important suddenly seems missing. That realization often surprises owners. It highlights just how central the dog has become. The French Bulldog is no longer simply sharing the home. The dog has become part of what makes the home feel complete. This recognition becomes stronger as the years pass. The bond continues growing through countless ordinary moments. Many owners eventually discover that the French Bulldog occupies a unique place within the family. The dog feels less like a pet and more like a familiar presence woven into daily life. This is why owners often describe the breed with so much affection. The experience becomes difficult to separate from the dog itself. The French Bulldog gradually becomes part of routines, conversations, photographs, gatherings, and memories. Before anyone fully realizes what has happened, the dog is connected to almost everything. That is why so many French Bulldog owners tell the same stories. They may live in different places and have different lives, but the experience often sounds remarkably familiar. As laughter fills the room, the loyal French Bulldog rests at their feet, anchoring their joys and sorrows alike. Every moment shared with this beloved companion etches itself into the fabric of their lives, weaving a tapestry of love and loyalty, illustrating a journey that neither could have imagined alone. In every wag of the tail, a story unfolds, transcending the ordinary into the extraordinary. And before long, many owners reach the same conclusion. Somehow, this small dog has quietly become the center of everything.